My garbage person of the week is one of, I guess, my regulars at this point. It's Elon Musk, who's not having a great week. He is being destroyed all over the internet, and not just for his terrible business decisions. No, this one strikes much closer to home, and it comes about as a result of these comments that he made about his trans daughter, Vivian Wilson.
I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This is before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he.
That was a lie right from the outset.
Incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison. So I was tricked into doing this, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
all right, so the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
Yeah, look, I've done everything that I can, probably spent too much of the resources of this show to convince people for probably like 3 years now that he is one of the most despicable human beings on this planet.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
I am hoping that this video will help people to understand that, because every bit of that was absolutely gross. It was gross, it was evil. And I know that it's easy to be briefly distracted because it appeared that he was doing that interview with the guy from the Six Flags commercials, but no, that was Jordan Peterson. And they're both absolutely gross people. They have made a career out of not understanding things and pretending not to understand things. Elon Musk's defense there is, I was tricked as like a 55-year-old man that I say am a genius and everybody believes a genius. I was tricked into allowing my child to go on puberty blockers, which I'm going to now define away as sterilization drugs. And I'm going to ignore the obviously very well documented thing where if people don't get the sort of help that they need, they can be at an increased risk of suicide. And I'm gonna tell all of those lies about my daughter, Vivian. Well, he had his say, and now Vivian is having her say because she's responded on Threads, a great alternative to Twitter, I've always said. Follow me on Threads, by the way. And said this: there's a lot of stuff I need to debunk, because he was going on tweeting after that interview and telling what appears to be been a bunch of lies about his daughter. So she wants to mostly fact check those and says, there's a lot of stuff I need to debunk, which I will get to, don't worry. But I want to start with what I find the funniest, which is the notorious slightly autistic tweet. This is gonna be a bit, so just bear with me. She says this is entirely fake. The thing about him supposedly seeing his daughter putting on jackets or something and talking about musical theater. She goes on to say he just like came up with gay stereotypes and created a past with her that didn't actually exist. And one of the reasons why he might need to make up what she was like when she was young is he apparently wasn't around. He quite simply wasn't there, Vivian says. And in the little time that he was, I was relentlessly harassed for my femininity and queerness. Obviously, he can't say that, so I've been reduced to a happy little stereotype, and there's some slurs there, to use it as discretion. I think that says a lot about how he views queer people and children in general. So look, this is so easy to buy. Elon Musk just starts a bunch of stuff or buys a bunch of stuff. He buys a bunch of companies, briefly cares about them, then moves on to something else. He has a bunch of kids and doesn't appear to care much about them after he has them. That we're learning from his kids. He floats into their life, believing a bunch of nonsense that's been baked into his head by some of the most hateful people on the internet. And that's how he runs his life. That's who he actually is. And so imagine you're out there just trying to live your life as his daughter. He's one of the richest people in the world, possibly the richest person in the world. He has political power simply by virtue of his money. And he is bad-mouthing you and lying about you to the internet. And all you can hope is that if you post on social media, people will hear your story. And thankfully, because Twitter is not the only social media site, it actually worked out. He is gross. I would love a day when nobody gives a damn about what he says. I hope that we get to that point. But Waz, what do you make of this?
I think it's just unfortunate for the child here, or his child, I should say. These kind of family things to spill out into the public is just nasty, and especially when essentially your dad refuses to affirm the person who you are. And he does so in such a public manner, in a vitriolic manner too. Just the way he flippantly refers to some quote unquote woke mind virus. I just think it's nasty, man, when family stuff spills out this way. But apparently, man, like this is the thing that turned Elon into a red pillar. This thing with his kid and the transition or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I guess he feels really passionately about this. Allegedly, it's just sad that this is what it's all come to, and obviously it's just super hurtful to her.
Yeah. And look, I focus on him because he has power and he has influence, and he shouldn't, but he does. But I also do it again. It's to demonstrate a point for other people. Don't look up to people simply because they have money. Don't look up to people simply because they buy companies where other people have invented things, electric cars, spaceships, whatever. Look at who he actually is. And you don't have to look hard because he never stops talking. He says that she died thanks to the woke mind virus. He talks like your brain dead uncle on Facebook. Like he got a talking point that means he doesn't have to think anymore. He doesn't have to learn. He doesn't have to evolve. He doesn't have to grow. He never needs to know anything because he has woke mind virus. So he's good for the rest of his life. And maybe that means that his family falls apart. Maybe it means he destroys the reputation of multiple companies. But he found a couple of words that made him feel warm inside and made him feel like he never needed to become a better person. And it is utterly ruining his life and also ruining the lives of people around him. You can and should learn from this. You shouldn't have to go through this experience to learn from it. That's my garbage person. 53,000 of you voted in our community garbage person of the week poll. Thank you to all of you who voted. Here's your top 5. Coming in at number 5 with 1% of the vote, you have Anna Paulina Luna for pushing the Trump rally shooter conspiracy. Not very popular there. Number 2 with 16% of the vote, you have Senator George Lang for saying there will be a civil war if the GOP loses in November. Number 3 with 21% of the vote, you have Donald Trump for blaming Biden and Harris for him getting shot. Remember when people cared that he had been shot? Anyway, number 2 at 24% of the vote is Elon Musk for posting the AI video of Trump killing Biden. I don't even know what that is. I apparently missed a lot when I was out for COVID. What the hell happened this week? Anyway, no, 38% of you voted for your community garbage person of the week. That is Republicans for calling Kamala Harris a DEI candidate. It's just, politics seems to change a lot over time. It doesn't. They have a term at all times that basically means cancel culture. They call it PC culture, they call it political correctness, they call it cancel culture. They have reverse racism, they have affirmative action, they have DEI. They just have something they can throw out that means black people get stuff they don't deserve. It's their shallow little cover that allows them to express their racist views. And they'll update, they won't say, they said CRT a few years ago, now they're saying DEI. They'll have some other acronym in 3 years, but it'll mean the exact same thing. Thank you to everybody who voted. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.